Another example of trunk damage, and sometimes this would look like from deer rub, you know. And then there's cats that scratch, and then there's mice that chew, and then there's other animals that try to get the cambium, you know, the sugar underneath. This is from a fire, and this side of the tree got burned. Cambium died off, of course, right? But the backside stayed alive, and the energy is still coming up behind the burn on the other side of the trunk. And so that's feeding, and the cambium, that's transporting nutrients still, and then it's starting to cover the wound. And what that means is this is younger tissue than behind there, and the bark's a little thicker, and then it comes out and it's really, really thin. And we talked about sun damage protection, so wrap these wounds when you see them, because this cambium will try to come across and it'll burn and die back and burn and die back. And that's what you'll see on a lot of trees, that the backside keeps growing. These maples up against those big department stores and the roadsides or driveways, and all the way down on the south side they're fried. And the half of it, you know, but eventually the trunk's going to break. So it's just good to not have it happen at all, but if you do, give it some aloe vera, wrap it, protect it from the sun, even put a nice, some kind of wall. If you're not going to have lower branches on your maples, it's nice to have some kind of protection on those trunks. So our main focus is to keep this fresh tissue that is trying to compartmentalize over the wound to keep from getting sunburn. You can paint it with a reflection white. There's clay that you can put on here, which is pretty good. Protects the wound, keeps this wood from dying back so bad. If this cracks too bad, the dead part, disease gets in as it's compartmentalizing. So we want this to grow a little bit faster than normal so we can compartmentalize it if we want to really repair it. And then we keep the, you know, the crown checked in a little bit, but get this tissue to cross over pretty fast and protecting it, not too fast, but a little faster than normal, so that this doesn't rot and crack and give you more problems and never cover. And then, you know, aloe vera it and cover it with gauze or a tree wrap or something, or even some wall. If you're not going to have lower limbs, you need to have protection for the trunk. It's best to be feeding the trunk with lower limbs. The leaves shade, they blow wind, they move air, and they feed and make that stable base of the tree. Keep your lower limbs if you can. They say, I can't get around, I can't get through. You prune so you can enter the tree. But lower limbs shade the ground, you know, they taper, they feed the base of the trunk, they shade the trunk, and they kind of prevent sapsuckers don't come in as much if the tree is like not as safe feeling because it's thick in there, you know. But if it's directly hitting sun, that's where the sapsuckers hit. You look at the birches and they're right on that sunrise side, where all the holes are when the sap starts running earlier in the spring. Your birches get hit, your maples get hit, your fruit trees get hit. So you got to wrap them to protect that, because that sap's going to run. So shade it so the sap don't run so early, and then shade it to protect the sunburn, and shade it to protect the birds from pecking in there, you know, and cover it up. Yeah. Keeping an eye on our trees. It's our duty, you know. Peace.